Welcome to another episode of Message from Mom, where we're busting the myth that mothers in law aren't necessarily monsters in law. And I'm joined by with my lovely co host, my two daughters in law. And to the left of me is Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm married to Alex's oldest son. What did I just say? Alex's oldest son? No, I'm sorry.
We haven't even had anything to drink yet.
I'm married to Alex, Beth's oldest son. Oh my gosh.
And then my co host to the right.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I am married to Beth's middle son, Andrew.
There you go. Well, hey.
It's like a tongue twister.
You made it through that. Okay, ladies. Well, we are going to raise a glass. So now we are going to start drinking. Maybe that will help us a little bit, but we're going to raise a toast because we know you don't have to be a blood relative to love your relative. So cheers to another episode, ladies.
Cheers.
And I will take a sip before I introduce our segment.
Already dripping here.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a little.
And we have a very fun, frivolous topic today, which I love. And Kelly came up with this. So I actually had never heard of this. So this is Desert Island Disc.
Yeah. So the long-running BBC show.
Okay.
On the radio, Desert Island Disc. So the premise is basically you talk about. They do 10. We're only going to do 5 each.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You basically talk about the songs that you would take with you to a desert island.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, there's a lot of different topics. So you'll be seeing more of these or listening to more of these in the future. But today we're going to kick it off with Desert Island Disc. We're going to talk about our top 5 songs because we're each going to do 5 songs. And then if there's enough time, and I think there will be, we'll make enough time where we'll do our top 5 movies. So we'll add 2 of those in. So, and this was actually very, very challenging. I don't know if it was challenging for you, but it was actually challenging for me. And what immediately came to my mind was that there's this famous quote from Love Story from the very popular 70s movie that actually influenced me with my fashion sense tremendously. But also one of the quotes that really stuck out was, what can you say about a girl who died that she loved Mozart, that she loved Bach and the Beatles?
Oh.
So, and actually, so AJ, my oldest, has really been talking about Bach a lot lately. Mm-hmm. So when I was going through my list, I was like, because I tend to think of just what has resonated with me from like my teenage years on. So early 70s. So James Taylor and Carly Simon and Joni Mitchell and Fleetwood Mac. And I mean, the list goes on and it's actually very extensive, but that actually got me to thinking that there are so many amazing songs, centuries old. So, but for the sake of it, I think we all really did kind of go into pop music.
I think so.
So I'll kick it off, and I think we'll just go maybe 1-1-1. Okay. Or do you want to do I give my entire list first, and then
1-1-1.
Do 1-1-1.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kick it off because actually one of my all-time favorite bands is Earth, Wind, and Fire, and we actually picked not this particular song, or did we do September?
I thought we did September.
Yes, we did.
Didn't we? Yeah, we did.
For our mother. Yeah. Our mother of the groom and groom dance for the wedding. And Chelsea actually choreographed it. You did an amazing job. We perhaps did not execute it as
it was still cute
as properly as we should have, but it was actually a lot of fun. But so Earth, Wind, and Fire was I just loved the whole Motown vibe that was really prevalent in the 70s, and Earth, Wind, and Fire was really one of my all-time favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And so I picked September for that. It really has a lot of meaning to me on so many levels. And there have been so many remixes of this song. Yeah. So not only do I love the original, but I also love so many of the remixes.
There's even been TikToks that it's the song has come up in TikTok dances.
Oh, really?
And, it's been a whole trend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't think recently, but over the past, ever since 2020.
Uh-huh.
So
okay, I'll have to go back.
Definitely...
I'll have to go back and check that out. But yes, so that really made my one of my songs that I would take to the desert island because I honestly have never tired of listening to that. Yeah. And it's just such a catchy, it's just such an upbeat, it's just such a happy song. And
happy song.
And it really does transport me back to my teen years when it first came out. Yeah. So
I
that,
like
so,
it.
so that's why I
Mhm.
chose
Perfect
that.
pick.
So Earth, Wind, and Fire, September. Do you remember the date or the night in September?
That's me. I'm like the person that I can't remember all the words to the song.
Yeah.
My mom is worse than me about that, though.
I always hear the lyrics wrong.
I do too.
And that's actually a really fun and common
Right?
thing that you see on I see it on Instagram a
Mhm.
lot, like these memes of like how people have gotten the song lyrics completely
Yeah.
wrong.
Right?
So funny.
Completely.
I know.
So
And you're just
funny.
like screaming them out.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm like,
know.
I think that's way more common than not.
It's pretty funny. And actually, so there was a very popular TV show, and my mom watched it, and then it was so popular when I was a young girl, and that was American Bandstand.
Oh yeah.
And they always had, so they would introduce new songs, and so Dick Clark would always ask, "Okay, did you like the lyrics or did you like the beat?" And I was always the beat person. So
Yeah.
I
I think I'm a beat person as well.
and sometimes I've been horrified because I've like loved a song for years and then actually took a deep dive into the lyrics and I'm like, what is wrong with me? But the beat was so catchy.
Yeah.
That's
how
so
they get
funny.
ya.
I know. So anyway, yeah. So I'm definitely the beat person. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kelly, what made a song on
Oh.
your top 5?
So I do have to caveat this entire conversation with the fact that I don't really listen to popular music
Mhm.
anymore. I do have a lot of bands and a lot of songs that I do really like and will forever love, but on a typical day-to-day basis, I tend to listen to very different music than the choices that I've made here today.
Mhm.
But I do think they're indicative of, if I could only have these 5 songs to listen to for the rest of my life on a desert island,
Mhm.
these are ones I would want to hear again.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, and probably almost no one listening or watching this is going to know this band at all.
But that's kind of fun because then they can go research it.
They can if they
and
want to.
and learn
Yes,
something new.
of course. So, All Them Witches is the band, and the song is called Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely fell in love with this band. But when Alex and I first started dating,
Mm-hmm.
we would be at our jobs and we would just text each other songs that
Mhm.
we would think the other one would like all day long.
Aw.
We would just be texting each other songs and
Sweet.
things like that. And this was a band that he introduced me to. I had never heard of them before, but he knew based on what I had talked to him about music that
Mhm.
I would love them. And he was so right. And I completely fell in love with this band.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So it's called The Witches. That's the band.
the band is All Them Witches.
All Them Witches.
They're from Nashville,
Okay.
Tennessee.
Oh, cool.
And this particular song, Mountain, is the one that Alex had sent me. The first thing I ever heard of their
Mhm.
music. And it's from a record called Lightning at the Door. It came out in 2013.
Okay.
What style of music is it?
So it's like, it's kind of heavy rock music.
Okay.
Actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I tend to veer a lot towards kind of heavier music, maybe that is, could be said as maybe hard to listen to a little bit.
Okay.
Interesting.
Whether it's like, whether it's just like being kind of not catchy so much as
Mhm.
like, but has these like really amazing like points in the song where you can just tell that these people are loving what they're doing.
Okay.
And they're very good musicians and they tend to just kind of catch me that way rather
Okay.
than with like a poppy beat or
Okay.
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Are the lyrics easy to listen to, or was it more?
Yeah. So the lead singer is very cute,
Mhm.
which helps.
Oh, if you're watching the video,
but also,
if you're watching the MTV video,
Yeah.
do they make those anymore?
I think they do.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do.
I think bands also just make their own
They
videos.
do.
and
Yeah.
release them.
That I knew. I just wasn't
Yeah.
sure if MTV was still.
I think
Oh,
it
I don't know
is.
about
I don't know that
it.
they
Really.
actually play music videos so much as TV shows anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, so it's a heavier rock music, but really beautifully played, and I think his voice is haunting in a way that kind of catches you.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely looking this up.
Yeah. I'm
at
going to look it
the
up
end.
too.
And actually, maybe it would be good for us just to, at the end of this show, we can put together a playlist
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
of all these songs
everyone.
and maybe
Yeah.
we can enlist a certain someone that's pretty good at making playlists, and then we can share it.
I love it.
And we can share that as well.
Yeah.
So
That might be fun.
yes, I think so. And Chelsea, so what made your desert island disc?
So my number one top song was not hard for me to pick at all because I love this song. And it's Sweet Disposition by the Temper Trap. And so I just love that song. I don't know what it is. That song is so like, I feel like I can re-listen to it over and over again, and it just makes me want to dance. Yeah. And I actually choreographed a dance to it. I want to say that this was maybe my last year that I taught dance. I did a dance to this song with my oldest advanced group, and I still love that dance and the choreography.
You still remember it?
I don't know if I choreographed it for them to do. I feel like I remember some parts of it. It was a ballet dance on point, but it was like a contemporary ballet dance that I did because I always like to do different stuff, not so much like classical all the time. So
especially if you're using contemporary music, you know?
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like that song just like makes me want to like
dance,
jump around.
Yeah,
like I feel like the intro, like, and then it like starts to,
pick up.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the beat then.
It's
that you like the most.
Yeah, it's the beat. It's the beat. I'm more of a beat person. I do like lyrics to a song, but like there's something about like the beat of this song that I just like, if I hear it, if it pops up on the radio, I'm definitely going to listen to it. I could probably listen to it in my car like 5 times in a row and I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like if you just have it on one song, I wouldn't get bored of it.
Yes.
And like immediately I was like, this is definitely, the other songs were maybe a little bit harder to pick, but this was definitely number one song.
Yeah.
And I was thinking back, I don't think it's not really a song that like, cause this wasn't played at our wedding or anything, but it's not really like, I don't consider it maybe a song that like everyone would maybe have that feeling about, but there are certain songs, especially coming from like a dance background, or and any dance teacher will tell you this, but you'll hear a song and for whatever reason that song will like resonate very like heavily with you, where you'll be in the car and you're like, you can immediately like see the choreography or like see the vision. And that was this song for me. I was like, okay, I saw the vision. I saw the costume. I knew I wanted them to be like in like this black leotard with like almost like jean like shorts, but they weren't going to have tights on. And like I saw like everything,
So very modern.
Yeah, very modern and but still in their point shoes and I saw the vision.
That's very cool.
But that's the song for me.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do. And that is a song that's also new to me.
Oh, really?
I don't know it.
Oh, you don't know it?
I may.
Oh my gosh.
So this is also something too. I may have heard it many times.
Oh, I'm sure that you have.
I just don't know the name of it.
Right.
Because and especially with like.
I'm not going to sing it for you because I have a terrible voice and I will not do it justice.
I know.
However, we'll listen to it after.
Listen to the playlist.
Yes.
Yes. Because I always love, and that's what I love about getting together with both of you, is that I'm always introduced to something new. And that is just always so interesting to me, especially when it comes to, culture or our cuisine or art like this. So so that's definitely.
Well, I think that both of you guys will like it when you hear it.
All right.
I'm excited.
Okay. Well, the second song that made my Desert Island Disc is, and as I said, was really, really hard. And especially when I really was thinking, like, sometimes I overthink everything, but I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm on a desert island for the rest of my life and I only have 5 songs, that's like,
you're going to have to.
I feel like with this one, you almost had to not overthink it. Yeah. Like, that's what I was like, what comes to my head the first,
So I did overthink it a little bit, but I have always loved Foreigner. They just really have a very haunting, a lot of their songs are very much resonate with me, and it's usually about love. And one of my favorites is, Waiting for a Girl Like You.
Yeah.
But I picked I Want to Know What Love Is, because I just think it's such a beautiful ballad of love. And that, the things that you have to go through to achieve love and to and to have love in your life. And over on, because I'm over on YouTube a lot because I have a YouTube channel, but they have actually clips of songs. Sometimes they're in concert, sometimes it's just their music video. But when they were in concert, I think it was in 2008 in Nashville, And so it is just so beautiful because he hands it off to the audience. I mean, he's like, I want to know what love is. And then then he hands it off to them, so they're singing it back to him. It's really just a really beautiful little segment. And
yeah, I love that.
So that also sticks in my mind too. And plus he's their lead singer was actually very fine to look at.
Yeah.
Back in the day too. Yes.
It always helps.
Doesn't
right?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. He had the beautiful, like, when long feathered hair was in, the Farrah Fawcett look, but men were also sporting that look too. So he kind of had that look going on. But so I really thought, yes, I could listen to this song.
Yeah.
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have through the years, and I still never get tired of it. So
I don't know if you guys, when you were creating your list, but I literally, so it wasn't just what was re-listenable, like what I could listen to multiple times, but it was also, sometimes I take things very literal. Like if I was on a desert island, what are the moods that I would be in? So what song would be like a happy song? What song would be a sad song? What song would be like the song if like someone was coming to rescue me?
Yeah.
I kind of thought about that. And honestly, all of my songs, I'm like, it works. But I'm like, I kind of feel like that kind of works with yours too. Like the first one that you picked, and then you've got like a little bit more of a melancholy one that
yeah. I tried to think of
balance it out.
Yes. Because I also thought of that movie Castaway. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah.
With Tom Hanks. And he was stranded on a desert island. I bet he was desperate to have some music.
Yeah.
So, but he was also desperate to get off, which I think that would be happening.
Maybe if he had his 5 songs, he wouldn't have.
I know.
A little bit nuts and made friends with the volleyball.
There you go.
That's true. Yeah, maybe.
What was his name? What was the volleyball's name?
I can't remember. It'll come to me.
I know it will.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So
Wilson.
And Wilson.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably the sporting goods store.
It was like the logo on the volleyball.
The logo on the volleyball.
Well, we lived on an island, so I could relate. Because just even living on the island in modern times, there are many times I just wanted, my whole goal was to get off the island.
Yeah.
The 10 mile by 30 miles. It does get to you, even with all of the amenities of everyday life. So anyway. Okay, so Kelly, what is your second song?
Okay, so, and also I will note that for my list, they're in no particular order. There's no one above the rest. Okay. Right. So the second song that I chose is, the song is called The Wand, or the WAND, and it's by the Flaming Lips, who are from Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And so it's from the 2006 album At War with the Mystics, which was one of my favorite records that they ever put out. But this band has been around for a really long time. They got super famous. They were always a weirdo band, but they got super famous because their song She Don't Use Jelly was on, I think, like 90210 or something.
Oh, okay.
So they got like super famous and had a hit with that song, and then just kind of, that song aside, like they kind of just carved out this place in music history, I think, for being just like this totally weirdo outsider band, but that everybody loves because they're so positive and they're so, just the message of their songs is just always very inclusive and just, it's just super positive, happy, fun, goofy stuff. But they're amazing musicians, and they do some of the craziest live shows of all time. Like this is, you may not know their music, but maybe you've seen, like, I think they did a tour back in the mid 2010s where the lead singer would get in this huge inflatable bubble and like crowd walk, in this bubble. I mean, just like crazy stuff like that. That's just like so fun and so weird, but just like amazing to see live. And it's funny actually, because before I even knew Alex and Andrew for that matter, Andrew and I were at the same Flaming Lips concert in San Francisco on Halloween.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. So we both have that memory in common of that show.
Wow.
But yeah, just incredible. I mean, just anything like, so just as an aside, like one of the albums that they put out in the mid 90s was this total experimental thing where we had compact discs. So the album consisted of like, I think it was 6 discs. And the idea was that a different part of each song was recorded on a different disc. So the idea was that you would have 6 CD players and you would play them you'd play that song on a different, so a different part of the song is playing from a different CD. So you never really hear that song played the same way twice. You can mix things up. And so they would do these shows in like parking garages where they would have these huge sound systems on different levels of a parking garage, and they would play this. That's how they did the live performance of this particular album. I mean, they just did like really cool, far out, weird stuff like that.
Okay.
And so
that's interesting.
So anyway, I've always liked them.
That's very cool. Well, again, I have not heard of this.
No, I haven't.
This song, so I'm very curious to hear about that. And especially since you and Andrew have a memory.
Yes.
An
uncommon common memory.
An uncommon memory. I know that's pretty cool though. Yeah. Yes, you're at the same event and have no idea who you could have even
no idea.
You know how in the movies, they're passing, they show
right.
They're foreshadowing something and you've passed by each other not knowing you would be related down the road. I don't know.
Hilarious.
The invisible string theory,
right? Yes.
There you
go. Okay, Chelsea, you're up next.
All right. My second song. So I told you guys before we started this, I've noticed a theme with my songs and my movies once we get to that, but they're all very nostalgic for me. And they all, I think, come from like the late 80s or in the 90s. There's a few like maybe early 2000s, but obviously I kind of grew up in the 90s. And so, I think maybe that's why. But my second song is Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. I love that song. Yeah. My senior solo that I did in dance was actually to this song. And I don't know, I just have always just loved that song. I used to sing it like in my, driving to high school. Like that was like the song that I'd have on, in my CD player that, at the time.
So I have
my Ford Focus.
So what do you think about the cover version? Because there's a country artist, I can't remember his name, but he's brought that song back to the popularity.
Luke
back to the charts.
Luke Holm. What's
what his name is? But he did win a Grammy, I think, and she actually won the Grammy this year at the Country Music Awards for Best Song.
Oh, really?
Oh,
or it was something like that. Don't quote me on that. I might be totally wrong, but I do know that because it came back up in the charts and they worked, like she's super.
I have heard it. I've heard it. Cool. I like her. I mean, I think his version is good. I mean, I like her version better. Yeah. I feel like there's something, and this isn't a top 5, but it's also another song of hers that is, very similar, but like the talking about a revolution. I like that song as well. Like, I don't know. I like her voice. I feel like she has like just a really kind of almost like raspy tone.
She does.
So, I mean, that song's not my top 5. It's definitely Fast Car if I had to pick between the two. But there is something about just like how her voice is that I really like, that maybe I think it was like Luke, what is his last name? He's a country singer. I don't follow country.
No.
Luke
we can have our we can look it up. We have our devices in front of us.
But he's the one that did the cover and I have heard it.
Find out who it is.
But they did, they sung it together recently at, I guess it was the Grammys.
Okay. Yeah. That's very cool.
Luke Combs.
Luke Combs.
I was right. Luke Combs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luke Combs. That's very cool.
Anyways, yeah.
Well, I'm going to look that one up too because guess what? I don't know that song either.
You don't know Fast Car?
I don't know Fast Car?
I don't. But there again, but if I listen to it.
Oh, you'll know it. You would know it.
Yes.
It's like a...
Yes.
So I just to comment on that particular song. So I used to play music and was in bands and stuff, and one of my old good friends that we used to play with a lot, and he used to play in our band. His name is Jamie Stewart, and he has a band called Shoo Shoo, and he did a cover of Fast Car, and it's like the most haunting rendition of that song. I'll have to send it to you because it is just he takes it to like this whole other level of just like tragedy.
Yeah,
like it's so
that's like what I'm also
and gut wrenching.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing. Well, not all of my songs, but some of my songs, they are kind of like.
But I think that's what makes that's what makes us resonate with because certain songs. Yeah,
I think so many songs are about love and being heartbroken or how life has.
But also, what this song is
disappointed you.
At 16, I'm like, nothing about my life was in comparison to the song. But, you know, I'm like, it is, I don't know.
But you related to it.
I did somehow.
And that's usually what, I mean, art is. Mac always used to say this. I mean, he never was an art connoisseur or a wine connoisseur, but he knew what he liked.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's music, and I think that that's movies, and that's why I'm always fascinated, because I think it does give you a little insight into your personality.
Yeah, because sometimes I think we don't necessarily know how to express those bits and pieces of us to other people that that telling them your favorite song or your favorite movie or your favorite TV show kind of allows you to say what those things are without actually, you know, explicitly saying it. So
exactly.
I think it's sure.
Okay. So another one I'm going to look up, but so I'll move on to my third song. And so I'll just go back to when I was a younger girl, because I wasn't really part of the Beatle craze. I wasn't a teenager. I was, I mean, when they burst on the scene, I think I was like 3.
Yeah.
Because they were the early 60s, and I was born in 58. So, but I grew up with their music. But I think everybody almost has grown up with the Beatles music, because it still resonates today. I mean, they have their own channel over on Sirius XM, the Beatles channel.
You know you've made it in the
no, if you have your own channel. I know. So, but there again, that's a very hard pick. You look at the catalog of all the Beatles songs, and there's so many good ones, and I just love all their love songs. I mean, just so cute, and 8 days a week, and I mean, I like all of their upbeat, peppy ones. But I picked Penny Lane because that was really Paul McCartney's ode to his youth and to the town that he grew up. And there really is a Penny Lane, and you can actually see many of the.
Well, what's the Almost Famous movie, right?
Or is that her name is Penny Lane?
Yeah, her name is Penny Lane.
Was Penny Lane, but it doesn't. There's no connection there.
No,
I gotcha.
No.
I mean, she probably chose that name because of
that
iconic, you know, status in the cultural zeitgeist. But
it's a beautiful, beautiful song, and when I did learn about, and I do like to hear a little bit of the backstory of songs, because there's always a backstory that we don't hear. You know, why the artist picked it out. I mean, if we just take a look at Taylor Swift, many of her songs are of her breakups. You know, it's true to life. But that's how songs are. So it's so when I discovered that this was really about Paul just writing about his
growing up,
his youth, and growing up, and all of the iconic things, and just basically a day in the life.
We know Alex named our dog Penny after.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah. I had no idea that's how Penny came along.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he chose her name Penny.
Okay, because of Penny Lane. Yeah. But yes, it's a beautiful song, and as I said, I mean, the Beatles are so iconic. So many amazing songs and they do run the gamut from their early days where they really just were love songs. Yeah. Then how they evolved and.
They really did. They have quite an evolution. And I don't have one Beatles song on my list. And that's partly because there is no way I could just.
It's hard.
I couldn't. If I opened the Beatles door when I was trying to make this list, it would have been just like so many good songs.
Here comes the sun, and I say. It's all right. I know. By someone
who will not be getting any of that from me.
No, they
on any of that.
Listen, I never made any choir. I think that I probably was banned from.
I was in chorus one year, and I think I got kicked out of chorus. Actually,
I love music. 1 year, but I'm definitely cannot carry a note for the life of me. But
no, just to dance. No notes, just dance, just rhythm.
See, you can appreciate it in that way, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we all sing in the shower or in our cars.
In the car.
I probably don't sing in the shower, but I definitely sing in the car. And I do not care if who's looking at me on either side, because I am enjoying the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even just putting this list together last night, I was sitting on the couch with my computer and using the TV and my computer to kind of search for songs and stuff like that. And Alex doesn't, as I mentioned earlier, I don't really listen to popular music anymore. And so he comes from his office because he hears me blaring pop music, and he's like, what is happening out here? I was like, I'm doing research for my podcast tomorrow.
That's just from Mom.
He's like, I never hear you listening to music like this anymore. I'm like, yeah, I know, but.
That's cute. Okay, so Kelly.
All right. Yes.
Third on the Desert Island Disc.
Yeah. So I Wish by Cat Stevens, now known as Yusef. But it's from the 1970 album Mona Bone Jacon. And the reason I love this song, I love that whole album, but the reason I came to love that song is from the movie Harold and Maude.
Okay.
Because it is my number one favorite movie of all
Okay.
time. And Cat Stevens did the whole soundtrack for that movie. And and for the first time, so this was something that was really, my friend Amy and I all through high school, we loved this movie. It came out in 1971. And you couldn't find the whole soundtrack. It was never released as a complete soundtrack to the movie. You could create your own, mixtape by getting all of Cat Stevens songs from different albums and then putting it together, which we tried to do, and we were just not good at it. But I think it was probably even just in the last 2 years they finally released the movie soundtrack as an entire piece. And what I really love about actually listening to it is it has snippets from dialogue in the movie in the soundtrack, which is really great. And it's not just like I think there's a Tchaikovsky song in there too, so that's in there. But you basically are almost like listening to the movie, not all the dialogue, but the songs in that film. Cat Stevens is such an amazing songwriter and performer and musician, and it's just so beautiful and heart-wrenching and romantic, and you just those songs really tell the story of the love between Harold and Maude and what it's like to be an individual and what it means to go out and get your happiness and like to live your life and not take shit from anyone and just get out there and live, and Maude is like such an inspiringly beautiful character. So is Harold. But anyway, so that I encourage anyone who likes that movie to seek out that soundtrack because it really is worth having. It's very fun to listen to.
Okay. So now you discovered the song by watching the movie? Is that
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, I knew Cat Stevens because Peace Train, some of his more famous songs, I would hear them on the radio growing up.
Yes.
But it wasn't until I saw Harold and Maude and I saw that collection of songs all in one piece that it feels like an opera in a sense, like where the music is really, really working with the story in ways that they can never be divorced from each other at this point. Right? So I was very excited and happy. And actually, Alex, I think, bought it for me on vinyl, the soundtrack when it came out, because I had been telling him for years, like, I wish this was all, in one place. And now it is. So,
well, there you go.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Cat Stevens, yes. What a beautiful artist, beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Yes. And
sure.
And very moving lyric.
Yeah. Very, very, very moving.
All of his.
Yeah.
Cats in the Cradle.
So many good songs. But yeah.
Okay. Chelsea, third song on your Desert Island disc.
Well, my third song, so I actually had a hard time picking. This particular artist has 3 songs that I really liked, but I picked my most favorite of hers. And I know that I listened to her a lot in high school. And for whatever reason, I feel like someone gave me this like CD for free. I don't know. But anyways, my, little 2002 Ford Focus just had a CD player and I put it in and it was, I don't know, I just really liked it. So if I had to pick out of the 3 that I really like, it's Piece of My Heart by Melissa Etheridge. I love that song. I don't know. I feel like it's like a song that you can like jam to in your car and like, honorable mention for her would be Angels Would Fall and then Come to My Window.
Okay.
So I know that song. That comes to my window.
Yeah. But yeah, Piece of My Heart, I feel like that would be like the top one out of those 3. And it's like the genre is rock. So, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just, there's something about her voice too. I feel like she's got that raspy kind of voice. I like the
tough sounding woman voice.
Like the raspiness. And I feel like it's something that you can like scream in your car.
Well, you've chosen all single artists or what would you call them? Just
Solo artists.
Solo
Solo
artists.
artists.
Thank you. Not just
I was going to say, I think actually
solo artists. Yes, which is
all of
interesting.
mine are solo artists.
Are
It
they?
is interesting.
That
So
is
you're
interesting.
like really into the singer-songwriter
Yeah,
aspect
I think
of
every single one
pop
that
music.
I picked is a solo artist.
Yes, but she's amazing. Melissa Etheridge. Really like her.
Yeah.
Nobody's picked Adele. I mean,
I don't even know any of her.
Don't you know any of her songs? Okay.
I do
I
like
don't know her
Adele. I mean,
Taylor
I just don't. I don't know. I feel like all of these kind of, like I said, I picked them on a number of reasons, but also they're very nostalgic to me. And like immediately when I listen to that, I'm like 16 years old,
transported
in my car driving to high school. You know what I mean? Like, because that's when I would listen to it. Again, I don't know who gave me that CD. I couldn't tell you. I don't think I bought it myself, but somehow it came into my possession.
Right. Yeah. And you loved it.
And I loved it.
Which is,
I really like that.
Which is very, I mean, and as we were talking about, I mean, music really resonates on a personal level.
It does.
That's why we like certain artists or bands. That's why, and I really love that you've chosen songs that transport you back to a certain time in your life, because that is exactly what happens with music and movies. And, you know, exactly where you were when you first heard it on some of the songs, and maybe even what you were wearing, you know, what was going on in your life. So, so I will share. So 4 of my 5 songs really are from my teen years.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's something very special and nostalgic about music when you are,
it transports you to a different time.
When you're a teenager.
You also had the incredible privilege of growing up in a period in which music was at its peak.
I did. We had no idea. We had no idea at the time.
Make fun of me for my.
We're just bopping along with our AM, you know, our AM FM radio. Yeah. And if you had like a cassette player, an 8-track player, you were like, wow. I remember my first boyfriend had a cassette player, and I thought,
cassette.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
So I have AM, and we thought we were cool because we could tune into FM, because some cars didn't even have FM radio.
Right.
But so many of my connections to music are in the car, because that is a great time to listen to music. Also, like laying at the pool. When I was growing up, we spent hours at the pool in the summertime, and music was always playing. So that was also.
But certainly the car thing.
Oh, definitely the car. Yeah. Definitely the car.
So many memories associated with listening to specific things in the car.
Yeah. But I will share the one song that is not from my teen years, and that is Maroon 5, Sunday Morning.
Wow.
Sunday Morning. I know. But
it's like Maroon 5.
But just like, so I'll dovetail on you liking a song from Harold and Maude. So this was from Something's Gotta Give. And that was a song, and I had never heard of it, but I absolutely fell in love with the movie because the very iconic Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton with a later in life love story. It's just absolutely cutest, sweetest, most lovely movie. But anyway, this song was in there, and so you have to wait until the end credits to figure out who sang that song. Yes,
you're sticking with the credits.
I was.
Because you want to find out who sang
I think it was like the last, actually the last credit. Yeah. But so then I was on a mission because I wasn't familiar with Maroon 5. They were wildly popular at the time. Yeah. So I think that album that this song was on was really what catapulted them into fame. But anyway, absolutely love that song, and it's just so sweet, and actually, because waking up with the love of your life on Sunday morning, I mean, what's better and sweeter than that? So
I like that song.
Yes.
I'll have to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen it, I think, since it first came out, but I'll have to rewatch that.
That's like if ever I'm sick, or that's a go-to movie of mine. It's a comfort. Yes, just like comfort food. That's a comfort movie. And plus, the kitchen. I wanted that kitchen in that movie. And we were living.
Diane Keaton always has beautiful kitchens in the movies that she's in.
Yes, when we were living overseas at the time, so there's no way I was going to be able to replicate that kitchen. But that kitchen really captivated my heart, and I think most of the United States, because if you go back and research that movie, so many kitchens were recreated. Yeah, very simple, but boy, was that beautiful kitchen! Beautiful kitchen.
Oh, I definitely have to go rewatch that one.
Yeah. So anyway, Maroon 5, Sunday morning.
I like it.
Sunday morning.
He's gonna sing all of the
all
songs.
I know.
All the
Do, do, do.
That's like,
Wake up, I just do you share some skin and then you grab, no, we'll have to look up
it's Rain Has Fallen.
Rain is falling.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, rain is falling. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Rain is falling.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway,
Oh.
it's a very sweet song. Very sweet song about love.
I like it.
So that's number 4.
Okay. My number 4 is actually a recent-ish band, The National. They're a band. I want to say they're from Philadelphia or somewhere on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
But the song that I chose is "This Is the Last Time," and it's from that 2013 album "Trouble Will Find Me." And I think I have like maybe 4 or 5 of these of this band's albums, and this is definitely my favorite album.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they. I'm trying to think of like how you would classify them. I'm not totally sure. Like back in the 90s, we would say it would be like the alternative,
Mhm.
you know. So it's not like super heavy. It's not super poppy, but it's just really beautifully written music. The lead singer, has a really great deep voice. But I think lyrically is where I think musically they're a very strong band, and they have a lot of things that I gravitate toward in music. But I do think lyrically is like one of their stronger things. It's very poetic, very, kind of, if you're paying attention to the lyrics, you're definitely like, oh wow, that feeling that resonates, So yeah. So The National.
Well,
Very moody.
And I like Spotify, if you're watching the song,
Mm-hmm.
which you can do. So
Yeah.
you're watching the song, and a lot of times then they will flash up the lyrics on their songs,
Oh yeah.
which I love.
You can actually choose that on Apple Music now.
Mhm.
Where
Can you?
there's like
Yeah,
a
you
little
can.
tab that you
I
can.
love
so it'll
that.
just, yeah,
I love it because it clears up
a
some
lot.
Mhm. If you
some
miss-
misconceptions.
A lot of things become clear.
Yes, that
Oh,
may have
man.
persisted through
Love it.
the years.
Yeah.
So yes, but lyrics are very important.
I think
They are, even though
yeah,
I'm, as I said, I'm the beat person. I definitely am. But lyrics are very haunting, and they really move you.
they definitely can be, and I do think that there can be and is that separation between like
Mhm.
because there was this band, I'll have to look it up, but where they actually had no lyrics. They were really famous, Cocteau Twins in the
Mhm.
80s.
Uh-huh.
Like they did not sing English or
Uh-huh.
any other discernible language.
Uh-huh.
It was like a completely made up
Mhm.
language,
Mhm.
mostly just sounds.
Mhm.
So she's just using her voice as an instrument.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And I always thought that was like one of the ballsiest things to ever do, especially in the 80s, because like she had a beautiful voice, it's true. But I think she probably had the best laugh of all time, because people, I think, were probably really trying to figure out, what is this woman saying? What is this song about?
Uh-huh.
What are they
Yes,
talking
it's
about? But there was
just a
like
bunch of just like jumbled up.
it's
That's
nothing.
hilarious.
It's nothing.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
So I always really liked that in a tongue in cheek kind of way. Like it was very
Yeah.
very clever.
Mhm.
But I do think that we can like certain music based on lyrics. We can like certain
Mhm.
music based, and sometimes they marry and it works.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I think both ways are you can enjoy it both ways.
Mhm. I agree. Okay, number 4, Chelsea.
Number 4, you guys are gonna laugh at me.
Oh
on this one.
no,
Oh.
we would
It's a new
never
one.
laugh at you.
It's a new one, and before I say the song, I picked it because this is like my pump up song. Like if I'm heading to a listing appointment, this
Uh-huh.
is a song that I'm listening to.
Okay.
Mhm.
If I'm like trying to like bust my way out of a desert island,
Mhm.
this is my song.
Okay.
Like this is the song that I build my, boat that is going to take me
Mhm.
off of the island.
Yeah. So
So-
you'll just like Castaway. So he lost Wilson, but he got off the island.
So this is a newer song, but it's called My Life, and it's by Nicki Minaj.
Oh, uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's like,
Don't know it.
this one is definitely the beat and also the lyrics too. I feel like I could maybe say the lyrics if I have it playing. There's no way I could like do it without the song playing. Like I gotta like
Uh-huh.
have the beat going.
Right.
But it's almost like a rendition of so this entire album, she used other songs to pull in like in order to do her song, I guess. I don't know what that,
Sampling?
I guess so.
Like beats and
Yeah.
the musical parts of it are sampled from other songs that
so
she's
like
in.
she has like Girls Just Want to Have Fun in one of them. This one is Heart of Glass.
Oh,
so
wow.
you can like hear the
Uh-huh.
dun, 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 dun. But it's like with her rapping, and then I don't know, it's a very like upbeat, it's like I'm a badass song. And like anytime you listen to it, you're like, okay. Like,
You're like,
I'm a
I
badass.
have the confidence.
Like, okay, like I got this.
Right?
Yeah.
And
so that's my
and that's
number
the cool
4
thing about music, and actually like all of the songs that, because when you were marching off to war, you typically had, especially in like the when America was fighting for independence, you always had the drummer, and you always had these marching songs and
Claire.
Yes, and so there is a very specific thing that they're pumping up the the army to go off and win
that's my Escape the Island
win the battle.
Confidence.
Yeah, like is it Philip Sousa that did
the marches?
Yeah, all the marches. Is it Philip?
Mhm.
Do I have it
Philip
right?
Sousa.
Philip Sousa. So yes, on all those in the 4th of July songs and so I mean, there again, we know how music really just penetrates our heart and our mind.
I like some of it. There's one line, I couldn't tell you what it says like word for word in the song, but it's basically something to the effect of like, if I had a nanny, like all of you guys would be toast, like situation. Like basically like, because she has a kid now, and it's like, if I had my nanny, like you're done. But I just like love that line, because I'm like, I feel like as a mom, that's like, that would be me as a mom. Like when my nanny gets here, see you later. I'm about to make all the money in the world.
That's cute.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
So Nicki Minaj, she has. I've liked her music, yes, through the years, and especially because I am on social media, and we pick a lot of pop culture songs to go with our reels and things like that. So I'm actually much more in touch with modern music than I ever thought that I would be, just because it's on my reel or it's on a YouTube.
You're way more in touch with any of that than I could even hope to be. Like I'm completely out of touch.
That's how I'm in touch with Nicki Minaj, is because of that. And then will also get some shit over on Instagram or YouTube because we have picked out a song that perhaps is
maybe people were
swearing or doing something that
this one would maybe not be appropriate for a reel, but I'll admit that.
I think we have a reel. I have to go back, and I think it's Nicki Minaj about something about Prada, and it was a J. Crew factory, so we have like little cute cardies and graphic tees and things like that, but we're like. And I think it's a Nicki Minaj song. I have to go back and check.
The lyrics say like luxury
and we had more than one comment. I can't believe you picked this song. It's just like, okay, I know.
That's hilarious.
I go to Orange Theory, so I mean, I hear
yeah.
Oh my gosh, their playlists are incredible.
Yeah,
and I mean, but there again, it has a purpose. It's keeping us pumped up, for a 60-minute class that you perhaps want to bail out on after 30 minutes.
You gotta have to pump up songs.
True.
You do.
That's true, actually. I will say that my only exposure to current popular music is my Peloton classes.
Yeah, right? I know. It's kind of fun, though, because it does. It's like, because there again, I mean, I've been in spin class. And actually, it's funny because Christian, and I can't remember what the name of the song was, but it was because my spin instructor had it on one of my favorite classes that I would take repeatedly. Yeah. And he's like, "You don't know that song?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, and he's like, "Well, how?" And I'm like, "Well, my spin instructor, spin instructor in Orange Theory,
right?"
And now my daughter's-in-law, yes, that's who gives me my.
Don't look at me.
I know, it was really funny, but actually, I actually had to show him the clip from. I had to take him down and show him the Peloton class, and he's like, "Oh, you're right." And I'm like, "Yeah, why would I lie?"
I love it. All right.
Okay, so last song, number 5. Actually, I think we'll probably just have time for music. I think it would be.
I think we might.
Yes.
I think we should
do a separate
movies a separate episode.
So you have to stay tuned where we will share our top 5 movies. But so for my last song, for my Desert Island disc. So this is Fleetwood Mac, Dreams. Because Fleetwood Mac, there again, in the 70s, such an iconic band. Loved, I mean, so many of their songs, but especially like this one. But I will have to say, so it was only in the past couple of years because I could never figure out a couple of the songs. And it was like, when the rain washes you clean. And I never could figure out that one particular 4 years, for like, what, almost 40 years. And it was only until somebody did a remix of it. And then, so because Stevie Nicks is just really like crooning that part of the song, so it was that's why I could never figure it out. But a remix, and actually, she was a young girl, young artist that was on YouTube, and she actually blew up with this remix. But I was like, thank you, because now I know the rain washes you clean. That's what I was missing. Yeah.
I love it.
But that's also there. I mean, I just don't get tired of that song.
Yeah.
And it's about a player,
Also
we've all had a player in our lives. Oh,
I mean, this is the same door. This is the Pandora's box that is the Beatles. Fleetwood Mac is the same way for me. Like, if I could,
Rihanna,
I can't go down that road because I just can't.
I know.
I can't pick one song.
I know.
Like, so I just have to avoid it altogether.
Yeah.
We just caveat this entire thing with like, there's at least 50 more songs that we're not including.
Absolutely. And that's why I said I was overthinking it at the very beginning, and I'm like, oh, I can only have 5 for the rest of my life on the desert island. Oh my gosh, what's not going to drive me crazy? Right. So, but then it was just like, no, I'm just, I just kind of got into that Zen place. It's like, no, these are the songs that have really, I mean, or at least at this particular point in time, these would be.
Well, and that's the thing; it's always changing, right? Where it's an evolution.
Yeah,
it is. But Dreams,
I think probably like once a year, or maybe more often than that. But we typically have a conversation as a family when we're, out on vacation together or whatever, and it comes to like top 5 male actors of all time go, and it changes every year, but we all like, it turns into this big, I mean, this where we're like, oh, I forgot about that guy, I gotta add him in, and or this actress, I gotta add her in. And so it's always fun to think about those kinds of things. I think they're great conversations.
Yes, and like I said, it's so great to hear your list, Kelly, and your list, Chelsea. And as I said, we'll compile, I don't think we can actually put it on the podcast. We can't put the songs on the podcast. Is that copyright? That's
I don't. Yeah, we can't actually do that, but we can certainly list them.
Yes, we can list them. So we will list all the songs and the artists. So if you're interested, then you can go research them, and hopefully we've piqued your mind a little bit, and then you'll create your desert island disc too. So okay, so Kelly, your last
my last one. So I saved my last song as this is my nostalgia song. Like, this is what takes me right back to being in high school, watching 120 Minutes on MTV. Like, we thought we were so cool. But Rocket by Smashing Pumpkins from the 1993 album Siamese Dream. The video for this song, like, as if the song alone wasn't just like so completely like, the video is so incredibly good. So this was back when, it was like such a big thing to have the coolest videos on MTV. And the video for this song are these kids like making this rocket ship in their backyard, and they're like, they're pretending, they're play acting, but the rocket ship takes off. And I mean, it's just such a beautiful, hopeful song and video. And and that album Siamese Dream, I think when I was later on in high school, let's see, that was 93. I graduated in 94. So like during that entire period of time, as much as I loved Smashing Pumpkins, like I was super into like dirty punk rock, and all of those friends would make fun of me for really liking Smashing Pumpkins. So I kind of had to keep my like Smashing Pumpkins love kind of on the side. Like, this is, over here. But I always loved them from the very beginning, and can still continue to. So I could never give them up.
Yes, I'm even familiar with Smashing Pumpkins, and they have.
Alex has always really liked them.
They're cute, and a lot of their songs have been featured on movies.
That's true. Yeah.
Which is also, I mean, that's also an interesting topic. We could have that at one point, because like
songs in
Maroon 5 Sunday Morning was on Something's Gotta Give, and Your Cat Stevens song was on Harold and Maude. I mean, there's so many songs that translate into movies.
Oh my gosh, I mean, actually, like when we talk about the movies, like so much of the soundtracks of those movies are what make them my favorite movies.
One of the songs I had, that's like an honorable mention, is on one of my movies.
Really? Well, give your honorable mention and then give your last song. So the honorable mention on the movie.
Okay, honorable mention on the movie is This Kiss by Faith Hill. I don't know if you can guess the movie from that, but if not, then you'll have to tune in for our movie section.
Okay. All right.
Cliffhanger there.
And
This Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on the
yeah.
And then but my fifth and last song, actually, it doesn't bring me back to high school, but it brings me back to my early 20s. Early to like mid 20s. And we would always, like, when we'd go out to like the Buckhead bars, I don't know, this was like the song that we were like blasting in like the Uber on the way back home. And maybe this entire album, because I feel like this album maybe came out when I was like 24, 25, but Drive by Miley Cyrus. And it's like very, well, I don't know. I'm sensing a theme with the raspy voices that I like, because obviously she has a raspy voice, but it's like the like heartbreak song. It's like drive my heart. Like it's like just like a you know, and like you like it's one of those that you like scream. But we would just play that. Yeah, I don't know. That was like I like vividly remember like coming home from the Buckhead bars, like driving down, you know, West Paces Ferry, like listening to the song.
Yeah. So what did your Uber driver think, or you didn't care?
No, he probably didn't care. I don't know. He was probably like, good God. Lord, the Buckhead bar days.
Oh, right.
The early 20 days. Yeah, but I don't know. I like all of her songs on that album. I think it's like Bangers. It's like the Bangers album. But that's like my favorite song from that album. But there's a few others that are on there that I like as well.
That you like. Yes, and transports you to a completely different time in your life.
Very different time.
Yes. Yeah. But there you go. You're looking for love. Probably didn't find it at the bar. I'm kind of thinking not.
Probably not.
No, probably not. You know.
Yeah.
But that's my songs.
Okay.
I love it.
All right. Well, I love all of our lists. This has been really a very fun segment. And as I said, we will feature these from time to time, the Desert Island Disc, and stay tuned because we will have movies coming up. We weren't sure if we were going to have enough material to talk about with the songs. I don't know why.
I knew that we would. I knew that. I was like, I know, because I remember you said that a couple weeks ago.
I was
no, come on. We all listen to music so much that we know. And that we could talk about it. And
well, we did. We did. And so I hope you will take a look at take a listen to some of these songs, because it's just very inspiring to hear what other people's lists are. So, okay, ladies, we have wrapped up another episode of Message from Mom, where we are busting the myth that mothers-in-law aren't monsters-in-law.